The great halls of the Galactic Assembly were filled with noise. Voices from hundreds of alien species echoed inside the chamber. Some had sharp, clicking tongues. Others spoke in deep rumbles. Lights danced across the room from colorful translator. Drones. Holograms floated in the air, showing maps of star systems and military movements. At the center of the room stood a tall, blue-skinned alien named Ambassador Kratok. He belonged to the powerful Karkaz Dominion, an empire known for war, conquest, and fire. Kratok raised his hand to silence the room. "We of the Karkaz claim the Helios Prime system," he said with pride. "The weak Zanari species who live there cannot protect it. They are insects. We will take what they cannot hold," the crowd murmured. Some alien leaders nodded. Others looked uncomfortable but said nothing. On the other side of the room, a human stood up. He was calm, dressed in a simple black uniform with the silver symbol of Earth on his chest. His name was Ambassador Marcus Reed, and he represented the United Earth Federation. "The Zanari are under Earth's protection," Marcus said clearly. "Helios Prime is neutral space. We do not allow invasion." Kratok laughed. "You? Humans? Your fleets are small, your weapons old. You only joined the assembly 50 years ago. You are nothing." Marcus didn't smile. He didn't get angry. He just looked at Kratok and said, "Then I will say this once. Do not enter Helios space. Not again. If you do, Earth will respond." The words were quiet, but the way he said them made the room colder. For a moment, even the loudest species fell silent. Then Kratok roared with laughter again. "You threaten us with your little ships?" he said. "Your federation hides behind peace. You have no teeth." He turned to the assembly. "Let it be recorded. The Karkaz Dominion rejects Earth's warning. We move to take Helios Prime." And just like that, the vote passed. The assembly did nothing to stop it. Far away in the Helios Prime system, 3 small Zanari colony ships floated near their home moon. They were old, rusty, and barely armed. The Zanari people were peaceful scientists, not soldiers. They watched, the sky with fear. Then came the message. Karkaz warships have entered Helios space. The ships were massive, dark and spiked like deep space monsters. There were hundreds of them. Destroyers, cruisers, carriers. The Zanari tried to send distress calls, but the Karkaz jammed all signals. It seemed like the end. But then, something strange happened. From the edge of the system, a single human ship arrived. It was called the HSS Vengeance. The Vengeance was unlike any ship the Zanari, or even the Karkaz, had ever seen. It was massive, yes, but it had no glowing engines, no visible weapons, no shield arrays. It looked like a floating wall of black metal, silent and cold. Karkaz scouts approached it, curious. "It's not moving," one captain reported. "No, energy signatures, no threat. Destroy it," ordered the Karkaz fleet commander. The first plasma missiles were fired. They flew toward the human ship, but before they could hit, the Vengeance moved, just slightly. A pulse of energy pushed out. Not a shield, not a weapon. Just a warning. And then silence again. The missiles never reached their target. They were vaporized mid-flight. Now the Karkaz were not laughing. In the Galactic Assembly, news of the human ship's arrival reached the Council. Some aliens dismissed it. "It's just one ship," they said. Others felt uneasy. "Why would Earth send only one ship to defend a whole system?" a reptilian diplomat whispered. Ambassador Kratok remained confident. "This is their bluff," he told the others. "Humans bark. They do not bite." But one old alien, a gray-furred scholar from the peaceful Drell species, looked at the ship's image on the hollow screen and frowned. "I've seen that design before," he said softly. "Long ago. Buried in human history. That shape, that silence. I think they call it a railgun platform." The others looked confused. "What is a railgun?" one asked. The old Drell didn't answer. His hands were shaking. Back in Helios Prime, the Karkaz commander sent another order. Surround the human ship. Force it to leave. If it doesn't, we'll crush it. Dozens of Karkaz warships moved toward the Vengeance. Still, the human ship did nothing. Inside the Vengeance, the human crew sat in silence. The captain, a woman named Commander Layla Ortiz, stood at the Railgun control station. All weapon systems ready, her tactical officer reported. Layla didn't reply right away. She looked at the screen showing the Karkaz fleet. So many ships, so much arrogance. Do they know? One crew member asked. They'll learn, she replied softly. Then she gave the order. Fire the railgun. Far from the battlefield in orbit around Earth, a network of military satellites picked up the activation of the railgun. A deep space alert was sent. Project Vengeance active. On Earth, generals stood up from their chairs. Old scientists looked at each other with nervous faces. The president of Earth whispered one word. Finally. Back in Helios Prime, the first railgun shot fired. No sound, no flash. Just a streak of superheated metal flying through space at incredible speed. It hit the lead Karkaz warship. There was no explosion. There was only disappearance. The Karkaz ship didn't break apart. It didn't burn. It simply ceased to exist. Sliced. Apart atom by atom, the hole left in the fleet was perfect and terrifying. The Karkaz screamed in confusion. What weapon is that? A laser? No! No energy readings! Another shot fired. A second ship vanished. Then a third. Then a fourth. Every shot hit its target exactly. Every shot killed instantly. Panic spread through the Karkaz ranks. It's killing us from across the system. We can't see the projectiles. Our shields do nothing. Retreat, retreat. But there was no escape. The Vengeance wasn't chasing. It didn't move. It didn't need to. It just kept firing. In the Galactic assembly, the feed went silent for a moment, then it returned, showing the ruins of the Karkaz fleet. Dozens of warships gone. Nothing left but floating metal and broken pride. No alien said a word. Ambassador Marcus Reed stood again. He didn't look angry. He didn't look proud. He just said one sentence. Earth told you not to enter Helios space. Then he sat down, and the assembly stayed silent. The wreckage of the Karkaz fleet floated silently in Helios space. Pieces of metal, twisted armor, and burning debris drifted across the stars like broken bones. The mighty warships, proud and feared across the galaxy, had been destroyed in minutes, and the human ship, the HSS Vengeance, still hadn't moved. From a distance, it looked like a dark statue in space. Cold, silent, and still. No flashing lights, no glowing engines, no celebration, just silence. On the bridge of the Vengeance, Commander Layla Ortiz stood quietly, staring at the tactical screen. Red Karkaz markers had disappeared one by one. Now, only small signals remained, emergency pods and broken escape vessels. Status, she asked. Railgun coils cooling, her weapons officer replied. All 5 shots hit. Clean kills. No damage to the ship? Layla asked. None. She nodded slowly. Hold position. Do not fire again unless ordered. The crew followed her command. No one cheered. No one smiled. They all knew what had just happened. They hadn't just won a battle. They had sent a message. Across the galaxy, the live feed of the Helios battle spread faster than light. Every empire, every military command, every intelligence service watched. In stunned silence, the footage showed the Vengeance firing once and wiping out a Karkaz capital ship. Then another. Then another. 5 shots. 5 kills. From extreme distance. No warnings, no wasted energy. The ancient Vari Empire, who once ruled 5 sectors, held an emergency meeting. The Empress asked her generals, "Do we have anything that can stop such a weapon?" No one answered. The Rule Combine, known for their swarm tactics and fast-moving fleets, quietly canceled their plans to test Earth's borders. even the peaceful. Zilari Union, masters of advanced shielding tech, looked at the railgun's effect and realized their shields were useless. Every empire froze. Every empire feared. At the edge of the Helios system, a second human ship arrived. A smaller vessel, marked HSS Mercy. It began collecting Zanari survivors and scanning for life pods. Commander Layla opened a secure channel. "This is the United Earth Federation," she said. "The Helios system is now under joint human Zanari protection. Medical help is available. We are not here to conquer, but if threatened again, we will respond." The Zanari leader, a small insect-like being named Professor Vera Thon, bowed deeply. "You saved our people," she said. "We thought we would die." Layla gave a gentle nod. "Earth remembers its promises." In the halls of the Galactic Assembly, panic had turned to confusion. The Karkaz Dominion demanded revenge. They shouted that Earth had used illegal weapons, that the Vengeance was a planet killer in disguise. Ambassador Marcus Reed stood again. "We warned you not to invade," he said calmly. "You ignored us. The Vengeance acted in defense of a protected ally." The Karkaz roared. "You used forbidden tech. That ship is a threat to peace." Reed did not raise his voice. "You sent 120 warships into Helios. We sent one, and that one ship asked you to turn back." He paused. "You chose war." No one responded. The Assembly called for an investigation, but most empires quietly pulled back their scouts from Earth's space. Patrol routes changed. Trade talks paused. Military drills were canceled. Behind closed doors, leaders whispered, "How did humans build such a weapon in secret? Where is the rest of their fleet? Was this their only ship? Or just the first?" "Some didn't believe it. They can't have more," one alien admiral said. Building something like the Vengeance would take years, maybe decades. But others remembered Earth's strange silence over the years. Their hidden research stations, their quiet moon bases, their long mining missions in deep space. Maybe Earth had been preparing all along. In a quiet part of the galaxy, a team of alien spies from the Orc coalition landed on Earth's moon. Disguised in human forms, they began searching for answers. What they found shocked them. Underneath the lunar surface, deep inside dark tunnels, were railgun test chambers, giant machines, ancient blueprints, destroyed prototypes, evidence of hundreds of failed attempts and secret progress. Humans had been working on railgun tech for 50 years. They hadn't rushed. They hadn't shown off. They hadn't asked for approval. They just built, and now they had finished. Back on Earth, inside a hidden base beneath the Atlantic Ocean, Earth's leaders gathered around a long black table. A large screen showed reports from across the galaxy. One general leaned forward. "We did what we had to," another spoke. "And now they fear us." But Earth's president shook her head. "That wasn't the goal. We didn't build the Vengeance to start wars," she said. "We built it to stop one." The room went quiet. Then someone asked the question on everyone's mind. "Should we reveal the others?" All eyes turned to the president. She didn't answer. Not yet. On the Karkaz homeworld, fury burned like a sun. War drums echoed across cities. Armies were called, weapons charged. The Dominion's high warlord, Chartor, screamed to the stars, "Earth must pay! We will crush them!" But deep inside the Karkaz military command, some leaders hesitated. They had seen the battle. They had watched helplessly as ships were erased by invisible death. One Karkaz scientist said quietly, "If they have more weapons like this, we will lose." "Then we strike first," someone shouted. "No," another said, older and wiser. "If we do, there may be no second strike." Back in Helios Prime, the Zanari were rebuilding. Human engineers and medical teams helped restore. Power to colonies. Human Marines protected the area. Children, once crying in fear, now smiled as they watched the Earthships fly overhead. In orbit, the Vengeance remained still, watching, waiting. Commander Layla stood in her quarters, looking. Out at the stars, a young officer entered. "Message from Earth, ma'am. High Command says we are to hold position." She nodded. "No retreat. No advance. We stay. We show the galaxy that Helios stands." The officer hesitated. "Permission to speak freely?" "Granted." "Ma'am, what if they send more fleets? What if the next empire tries something worse?" Layla turned and looked at the officer. "Then they'll learn what happens," she said softly, "when humanity stops whispering and starts firing back." The stars around Helios Prime had grown quiet. The wreckage of the Carcas fleet still floated in space, untouched. Pieces of shattered armor, broken cannons, and torn flags drifted like space dust. The HSS Vengeance, Earth's mysterious warship, stood alone in orbit. But it wasn't forgotten. Across the galaxy, billions had watched the battle. In every system, on every station, the footage was playing on loop. A single human ship, one unknown weapon, 5 shots, 5 kills, no survivors. Now, every empire wanted answers, and some wanted revenge. On the rocky world of Tharak 7, deep in the Carcas Dominion, High Warlord Chartor sat in his battle throne. The room smelled of oil and rage. Giant screens showed the Vengeance, still floating near Helios Prime. The Warlord growled, "This is a trick, a human illusion. One ship cannot destroy a fleet." Beside him, his top general nodded slowly. "We must show strength. We cannot look weak." Chartor slammed his clawed fist on the control panel. "Then gather the full fleet. No more games. We will send 1,000 ships. We will wipe that machine from the stars." The general hesitated. "With respect, Warlord, what if Earth has more ships like that?" Chartor's eyes burned with anger. "Then we will destroy them too." He pointed at the screen. "Send the Armada. Let the humans feel what true fire looks like." 2 days later, the Carcas Grand Armada entered the Helios system. It was the largest fleet the galaxy had seen in a century. Over 1,000 warships, heavy cruisers the size of cities' dreadnoughts carrying plasma torpedoes, swarms of stealth drones, gravity missiles, and shield crackers, they filled the system like a moving storm. Behind them came media drones sent by alien news networks. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. Some hoped the Carcas would destroy the Vengeance. Others feared another slaughter. Inside the Vengeance, the crew stayed calm. Commander Layla Ortiz stood on the bridge, arms crossed. Her eyes were fixed on the long-range screen. "They're here," her tactical officer said. 10 times the size of the last fleet. Layla didn't blink. "How close?" "Still beyond firing range, but closing." "Good." On Earth, in the hidden military base beneath the Atlantic Ocean, Earth's leaders watched the feed. Red markers filled the screen. The Vengeance was surrounded. General Isaac Brenner, old but sharp-eyed, turned to the president. "They're pushing us," the president nodded. "They want us to fire first." "Should we?" She looked at the screen for a long moment. Then she said, "Only if they cross the line." A red circle blinked on the screen. It marked the 500,000-kilometer boundary around Helios Prime. It was Earth's final warning zone. Back in Helios, the Carcas ships advanced slowly. Their commanders laughed over private channels. They haven't moved. They're scared. Maybe the Railgun takes hours to reload. At the front of the fleet, the Warlord's flagship, a monstrous dreadnought called the Doombringer, charged its plasma cores. "Prepare all weapons," the Carcas admiral barked. "The moment we enter the zone, we strike." They didn't care about Earth's warning. They believed in numbers. They believed in firepower. They believed humans would never dare fight back against 1,000 ships. They were wrong. As the first Carcas ship crossed the line, a sound echoed inside the Vengeance. "Ping! Target locked," said the weapons officer. "Shall we fire?" "Commander." Layla stared at the red dot on her screen. Fire railgun. The railgun made no noise, no light, no flash, just a deadly projectile invisible to the naked eye, flying faster than anything known in the galaxy. It hit the lead Carcas cruiser. Del. Result was instant. The ship was split in half. One side drifted left, the other right. Then both exploded in silence. The other ships paused. What was that? Where did it come from? Shields didn't even register. Then, ping. A second railgun shot fired, another cruiser vanished. Panic. Spread through the armada. Scatter, spread out. Activate full shields. Launch drones. But nothing worked. The Vengeance was too far, the shots too fast. The projectiles too small to track, yet powerful enough to destroy anything in their path. The third shot destroyed a dreadnought. The fourth took down a carrier. The fifth hit the Doombringer. A clean hole appeared in the flagship's center. Then the core went critical. The entire ship exploded in a ball of green flame. On every alien world, the live feed froze, then returned, showing wreckage. News anchors fell silent. Some fainted, some cried, some whispered, "The humans did it again." The same weapon, the same ship. No movement, no emotion, just perfect destruction. Inside the Galactic Assembly, chaos broke out. "We must stop them. That weapon is too dangerous. Earth must be banned." But others, quiet and powerful, spoke with fear. Or maybe, we leave them alone. Ambassador Marcus Reed stood once again. His voice was soft. "This was your second mistake," he said. "There will not be a third." Back in Helios, the Carcas survivors fled. They didn't ask for mercy. They just ran. Commander Layla didn't chase. She gave one simple order: hold position. The Vengeance remained still. On Earth, the President received a new message from the Vengeance. 5 confirmed hits. No damage taken. Holding Helios. She turned to her staff. "Prepare the next phase." "What phase?" someone asked. She looked up. "The reveal." Hours later, across space, human ships began to uncloak. Not one, not two, but 15 more ships like the Vengeance. Each one parked quietly in orbit around different systems. Each one fully armed, each one ready. Across the galaxy, every screen lit up with a single message. "The peacekeepers have arrived. Empires froze." No one knew how many of these ships humans had built. No one knew how long they had been hiding. But now, they were here. And no one wanted to be the next target. The galaxy was quiet again, but this silence was not peace. It was the quiet before a storm that no one could stop. The 15 human warships hung like dark stars in the void. Their railguns charged silently, their hulls cold and unyielding. Each ship was a promise, a warning, a shadow no empire could ignore. On Earth, deep underground in a secret base beneath the Atlantic Ocean, the true story of the railguns waited to be told. The base was massive, carved from rock and steel. Scientists in white coats moved through. Corridors filled with machines humming with power. Screens flickered with images of railgun tests, data streams, and blueprints. At the center of it all sat Dr. Elena Vasquez, the lead scientist of the railgun program. Her face was tired but determined. She looked up as the President of Earth entered the room. "You asked to see the full report," Elena said quietly. The President nodded. Elena tapped a screen, and the history of the railgun unfolded. 50 years ago, after the wars on Earth ended, our leaders decided the future of humanity could not depend on hope alone, Elena explained. "We began a secret project, Project Vengeance. Our goal: to build a weapon so powerful, so precise, that no enemy would dare attack Earth or its allies. The screen showed old videos of huge railgun tests on the moon, giant machines firing metal slugs into targets miles away, years of trial and error, failures and successes. Most empires use energy weapons, lasers, plasma, missiles, Elena continued. But kinetic weapons, railguns, can deliver raw speed and power without the risks of explosions or energy drain. Our project was hidden for decades. Even our allies didn't know. The president listened carefully. Suddenly, an alert flashed on the screen. A new scan detected unknown signals near Mars' orbit, Elena said. It's a hidden testing ground, hundreds of prototypes built and tested in secret. Why hide it? The president asked. Because, Elena said, if word got out, other empires would have tried to sabotage us or attack Earth before we were ready. The president frowned. So the railgun fleet is just the beginning? Elena nodded. We have dozens more ships in production. We are ready to protect Earth's future. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, alien spies who had landed on Earth reported back. They told of secret bases on the Moon, Mars, and even deep under Earth's oceans. They found test tunnels, weapon factories, and research labs, all hidden beneath layers of camouflage and secrecy. One spy, disguised as a human engineer, had even managed to see a railgun slug fired at a test target. It was like a shooting. Star, he reported. Invisible until it hit. A silent, deadly arrow. The news terrified their commanders. Back in the Galactic Assembly, the leaders debated. Humans broke every treaty, one ambassador shouted. They hid their weapons while preaching peace. Another said, maybe they never wanted peace. They wanted control. But Ambassador Marcus Reed stood firm. Earth did not break treaties. They defended themselves and their allies. They warned before they fired. Still, an old alien said, we must accept their power. The railgun is not just a weapon, it's a symbol. A symbol of what? A young diplomat asked. Of humanity's will to survive, Marcus answered. They chose peace, but if pushed, they fight with a power no one expected. On Earth, the president made a decision. We will not start wars, she said firmly, but we will not hide either. It is time the galaxy knows the truth. She ordered a broadcast. Across every star system, screens lit up with the message from Earth. The president's calm voice echoed through space. People of the galaxy, for decades, Earth has prepared quietly. We did not seek conflict. We sought peace. But when peace is threatened, we will defend ourselves and our friends with every tool we have. Images showed the railgun ships, the tests, the history. We offer a choice, peace with Earth, or war with a people who will not back down. In the silence that followed, many empires reconsidered their positions. The ancient Vari Empire sent envoys with gifts and offers of alliance. The Rule Combine began new trade talks instead of military drills. Even the Karkas, wounded and humiliated, slowed their war preparations. But not all. In the dark reaches beyond known space, a shadow fleet gathered, ships covered in scars and old battle marks, pirates, mercenaries, and outcasts. They did not fear Earth. They did not believe in peace. Their leader, a ruthless warlord named Skarath, smiled. Let the galaxy freeze, he said. We will show them the true meaning of war. Back on Earth, Commander Layla Ortiz received orders. Prepare the fleet. The peace we fought for is fragile. We must be ready for anything. She looked at the stars, at the fleet of railgun warships waiting silently. We built this weapon for one reason, she said quietly. To protect our home. Now we protect the galaxy. The stars above were quiet, but the galaxy had changed forever. The great fleets of alien empires had withdrawn their ships. The halls of the Galactic Assembly buzzed with uneasy talks, whispers of fear, respect, and caution. Earth's railgun, Fleet was no longer a secret. No one dared challenge it. On the bridge of the HSS Vengeance, Commander Layla Ortiz stood firm. The sleek black ship gleamed in the dim light of Helios Prime. "Status report," Layla ordered. "We have full control of the Helios system. No enemy ships detected," her tactical officer replied. "Good," Layla said. "Keep sensors sharp. We don't know who might try next." Her crew nodded. They were ready. Across the galaxy, messages from Earth had shifted the balance. The ancient Vari Empire sent formal envoys bearing gifts and offers of trade. The Rule Combine reopened peaceful negotiations. Even the Karkaz Dominion, though still angry, signed a new treaty recognizing Earth's right to defend its allies. For now, peace held. But the galaxy was not without dangers. In the dark reaches, beyond known space, warlord Skarath prepared his fleet. Pirates, mercenaries, and outcasts gathered under his banner. "We will not bow to Earth," Skarath growled. "We will bring fire and ruin to those who think they can rule the stars." He laughed, dark and cold. On Earth, the president watched these developments closely. "We built the railguns for defense," she told her generals. "But we must prepare for all threats." Earth's shipyards were busy. New railgun warships were built and tested every month. The fleet grew silently but surely. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Assembly, old alliances shifted. Some alien leaders sought closer ties with Earth, hoping to learn from their technology and strength. Others watched from the shadows, waiting for a chance to test the railgun fleet. The balance of power had changed. One day, a message arrived at Earth's command. It was from the Vari Empress. "We wish to join with Earth in a mutual defense pact," the message read. "Together, we will protect the galaxy from those who seek chaos." Earth's leaders welcomed the offer. Commander Layla received new orders. Lead a joint fleet with Vari ships. Patrol the border systems. Show the galaxy that Earth does not stand alone. She smiled slightly. "We fight for peace," she said. "But we will not hesitate to fight for survival." In the dark corners of the galaxy, Skarath's fleet moved closer to known space. They launched raids on small colonies, hoping to draw Earth's fleet out. But Earth and Vari forces responded quickly, defending every world. The warlords' raids failed. Back on Earth, Dr. Elena Vasquez oversaw new railgun developments. "We are pushing the limits," she said proudly. "Faster projectiles, longer range, better accuracy." Her team worked day and night. "Humans do not stop," she said. "We adapt, we improve." The Galactic Assembly called for a new council meeting. The topic, how to live with Earth's power. Some suggested isolation. Others wanted alliance. Most agreed on caution. Earth's president addressed the assembly. "We are not the enemy," she said firmly. "We are here to protect, to build, to explore." Her words echoed across the galaxy. Commander Layla stood on the bridge of the Vengeance, looking out at the stars. "We did not choose to show our teeth," she said softly. "But if the galaxy forces us, we will roar." The railgun warships gleamed like stars of war and hope. The era of caution had begun.